Hey, football fans, look what I have here. This piece of paper holds the playoff scenarios for Week 15. Quite a few teams can clinch spots in the playoffs this year. In this year's playoffs this week. And before I go through this, let me just state who's officially in now. New Orleans was the first to clinch. They clinched on Thanksgiving. They won the NFC South with their Thanksgiving evening win against Atlanta. In Week 14, Baltimore joined the fray, clinching a playoff spot with their win against the Bills. And the Chiefs won the AFC West when they won right after the Raiders lost. So there's still plenty of spots left. There are 9 overall spots left: 4 in the AFC, 5 in the NFC. But according to the websites, according to this sheet right here, 6 teams, 6 of those 9 open spots can be filled this week, as possibly as soon as Thursday. Okay, let's start. Let me start the AFC. I'll start the AFC. I'll go in order by seeding, and I will start with the Ravens. Ravens are 11-2. They currently hold the number 1 position in the conference. They're a game ahead of the Patriots. 2 games if you count the head-to-head. They clinched the playoff. They clinched a playoff spot last week. Baltimore. They played the Jets on Thursday, and all they have to do to win the division is win. So again, they're playing the Jets. So congratulations to the 2019 AFC North champions. If by some fluke they lose to the Jets at home, they can still win the division if Pittsburgh loses or ties Sunday night. But there's more. Baltimore could also get a first round bye. All they have to do is they have to win. And either New England loses or Kansas City loses or ties. If Baltimore ties, Kansas City has to lose. New England is playing Cincinnati, which is an easy win, but they had to spy on them, so they must be pretty damn insecure about being a 1-12 team. While Kansas City, who are the Chiefs playing? I think who are the Chiefs playing? I think Kansas City. I'm checking the schedule because I'm trying to remember who is Kansas City playing this week. Let's see. I know New England is playing Cincinnati, and Kansas City is playing Denver. Yeah, here it is, Denver. They're playing Denver. So it may not be that easy. Both New England and Kansas City are playing pushovers, though Denver is coming off a big win against the Texans. So who knows what kind of Broncos team we get. But wait a minute. There's even more than this. I said a New England loss or a Kansas City loss or tie coupled with a win gets them a bye. If both happens after Baltimore wins, they'll get home field. So Baltimore could possibly wrap up everything with 2 weeks left in the season. That's pretty big, them clinching everything like that. Okay, next up, the New England Patriots. Patriots are 10-3. They're second in the AFC behind Baltimore. They have a 1-game lead in the AFC East. They haven't clinched anything yet, but they can clinch a playoff spot. All they have to do is win. So New England's in because they're playing Cincinnati. The Bills. 9-4, pretty good season. Second place in the AFC East. The holders, they're currently in the first wild card position, ahead of a game ahead of Pittsburgh, who they play this Sunday in Pittsburgh, by the way. And their scenario is simple: win, they're in. That's it. Win and in. That's the whole thing for Buffalo. Okay, now on to the NFC. Uh, the 49ers. Now, the 49ers are the number one seed. They're 11-2, a game ahead of the Packers overall in the conference. Actually, I should say the Packers and the Seahawks overall in the conference because Green Bay and Seattle have the same record. But that's where they stand. San Francisco actually had, I think, two chances to clinch a spot and haven't done it yet. Um, but but their scenario is simple: win, they're in. That's it. They win, they're in. And the Niners host the Falcons this week. However, if they lose that game, they're in with either a Rams loss or tie. Rams are in Jerry World this week, or with Green Bay and Minnesota both losing. Minnesota is in Carson, California, playing the Chargers. We're hosting the Bears, so yeah, we're not losing that game. Okay. Speaking of which, the Green Bay Packers, 10-3, second in the NFC by virtue of the conference record tiebreaker over the Saints, leads the NFC North by a game over the Vikings. And thanks to our win last week, we have earned the right to have a chance to clinch a spot in the playoffs. What has to happen? If we win, the Rams lose or tie, we're in. If we tie, the Rams have to lose. Again, we're hosting the Bears. The Rams are in Jerry World. So in those games out here air back to back. So both halves of that Packers clinching scenario will be on my TV screen. And last but not least, there's the Seahawks. Same record as the Packers, 10-3. They're second place in the NFC West, a game behind the Niners, who the Seahawks actually beat in that overtime thrower. They currently hold the number one wild card position, which really is death because whoever loses the NFC West, they'll have to go on the road against whoever wins that decrepit NFC East. Oh boy. They can get in a lot of ways here because Seattle had the chance to clinch a spot last week, but all they had to do was beat the Rams, but the Rams beat them. But they have a chance to clinch this week. All they have to do, they have to win, and the Rams have to lose or tie, or they have to win, and Minnesota has to lose, or they have to win, the Packers lose, and Minnesota ties. Interesting. If Seattle ties, the Rams have to lose. Seattle is on the road this week. They're going to be in Charlotte facing a Panthers team whose season is over. They got eliminated last week. Um, and as I said, the Vikings are playing the Chargers and we're playing the Bears. And the Rams are in Jerry World. I don't know why I'm repeating. I just bears repeating, I guess. But anyway, these are the scenarios. So 6 teams can get in the 6 teams can well 5 teams get into the playoffs. I'm saying 6 teams, but 5 teams can actually get into the playoffs. Baltimore's already in, but they could just win the division. Actually, they could just get everything: the division, the first round bye, and home field, all in one fell swoop. But the last two are gonna have to come with help. But yeah, the Packers can get in. And speaking of Packers, I've read some additional scenarios for Green Bay. As far as the division, the game between us and the Vikings, the final Monday night game of the season, that'll most likely decide it. Because if we beat the Vikings, we're gonna win the division. I read a scenario is I read one part of the scenario is we really don't have to win that game to even win the division, but we just got to beat Minnesota. As far as a bye, if we win out, we'll get it because we have 3 conference games left. And the Colts, not the Colts. Well, the Colts are one of the Saints' 3 opponents left. The Saints have only 1 conference game left, and that's in Week 17. The next two games are against Indy and Tennessee, non-conference games. So the overall scenario it said if we win out, we'll get the bye. Now home field is tricky. The scenario for home field is this: we have to win out, and we have to win out. The Niners have to lose 2, and Seattle has to lose too. And those losses have to come before week 17 because they play each other on the final week of the season. So that's going to be a little bit tricky. But those are the scenarios. Those are scenarios, and it's going to be a fun week 15, and I'll be back to recap that week as soon as it's over. So until then, football fans.